You can get some idea of the food shopping past in here, where one man refuses to be packaged into a collection of serve-yourself shells, a small imitation of the new Big Brother. Morning, Mr. Brody.
Morning, sir.
How's business?
Not so bad, thanks.
Oh, that's something these days. Well, let's see now. I'll have a pound of raisins,
Yes.
and 2 pounds of sugar, and 2 pounds of flour. Supermarket people don't need to know anything about food, and sometimes I think it's just as well for their peace of mind. But the old-style grocer had to know a lot about the stuff he sold and how to handle it, and he knew about his customers too and their different tastes. He'd offer you advice and tell you about anything special, and he'd sell you just as much or as little as you wanted. 1 biscuit? 1 biscuit it is. Half a pound, quarter of a pound, 2 ounce. The scales did your bidding. How's this? What's wrong with a paper bag? I want raisins, and I've got raisins without having to pay for a wood-consuming cardboard carton overprinted with exclamation mark guff and probably wrapped in still more paper. I can remember pressing my little nose against batteries of these and waiting for somebody to take the lid off this sort of thing so that I could reach in for a sweet. Unhygienic? Well, maybe, but an eye-brightening treat when you're 5. Like city centres, country towns have changed too, but not quite everywhere. Here in Ennis, in the Irish Republic, this shopping street looks just as shopping streets once looked everywhere. There were thousands more little shops when I was a boy, each giving a living to a family. And then there were the big high-class grocers, smelling of coffee, and full of polished brass and great solid counters, and aproned knowledgeable assistants, and huge bins filled with everything that could be scooped onto the scales and paper bagged before your very eyes. And these shops gave a living to thousands. Another thing, you didn't have to wander about with a wire basket and queue to pay. You sat on a chair and gave your order. Here in Ireland, you could, and you still can, go one better and have a Guinness and a gossip while you considered things. And then you walked out unladen, and the whole lot was delivered, often within the hour, by a boy with a bicycle and a piercing whistle. You paid by the week, or the month, or if you were a parson's wife like my mother, by the quarter. And paying the quarter's bill was always good for something, you know. A bag of sweets from the grocer, fruit from the greengrocer, castanets of dried rib bones from the butcher. And remember, you paid just for the food, and the food was fresher and natural, not mucked about in any factory. And very often it was local food. Cheese, say, or butter. Butter in lovely round shapes moulded with the farmer's trademark. Now, you're probably thinking this kind of setup wouldn't do today, and you may be right, but give me yesterday.